While nations around the world are seeing the curve flatten on coronavirus, the Iranian regime is reportedly only getting worse. This as intelligence on the ground is reporting the regime is on the verge of a collapse. One America's Rion has more in the story.
According to the Iranian Council of Resistance of Iran, NCRI, the death toll has now reached over 32,000 dead from the coronavirus in Iran. Alireza Jafarzadeh, deputy director of NCRI out of Washington, says the Iranian regime is not only making the situation worse through their own ineptitude, but the regime is fearful for its own survival, hiding the true impact of coronavirus from its own people in order to hold on to its power.
The Iranian regime has played games since day one. They kept the outside world in dark. They didn't inform the people of Iran that actually corona had found its way to Iran, and no one knew until they announced the arrival of corona with 2 deaths. This is unlike any other country that started warnings weeks before anybody died.
The regime claims that the death toll is at just over 5,000 for the entire country, a number that has long been questioned even by the beleaguered World Health Organization. Following a visit to Iran, one WHO official in early March estimated that the true coronavirus death numbers are likely at least 5 times higher than the regime's official reporting. Compounding the disastrous health ramifications is that Iran refuses help from the outside, demanding that the U.S. lift sanctions instead.
Secretary Pompeo offered to assist Iran, and Iran very pointedly rejected any kind of help from the United States. Who are they going to accept help from? I mean, clearly their resources are being strung thin.
Well, this is the nature of the Iranian regime. They don't care about the people of Iran, and they don't even care about how this is going to impact not just the people of Iran, but the whole world. So it's a clear political decision on the part of the Ayatollahs that they don't want to accept help from the United States, even though it was explicitly offered by President Trump.
NCRI's Foreign Affairs Committee member Ali Safavi told One American News the Iranian rejection of aid is a ploy, and everyone knows it.
The Iranian regime is trying to hoodwink the international community by claiming that the sanctions are the cause of the virus spread in Iran and the fatalities. That is absolutely false. First of all, this regime is to blame for the virus having such a devastating impact in Iran to begin with.
Not only did the Iranian regime worsen the outbreak, but it continues to endanger its own people in order to downplay the regime's current vulnerabilities. The regime recently announced it had invented a machine that uses, quote, a magnetic field with a bipolar virus inside that can, quote, detect the virus within 100 meters with 80% accuracy. Safavi says the Iranian regime's lies about this virus are particularly dangerous, not just to Iranians, but to the world.
It goes to show the criminality of this cover-up, and so millions of Iranians unknowingly interacted, and they got the virus. And of course, the IRGC's Mahan Air continued its flights to China and from China until late in March. So you had all these infected people coming and going. You may know that 17 countries around the world had the virus because of people who had gone to those countries from Iran. And remember that the first person who had the virus in New York City was a passenger, I guess a woman or a man who would come from Tehran or from Iran. And so clearly the scope of this cover-up goes beyond the devastating consequences for the people of Iran.
Safavi adds, with a growing number of Iranian parliament downed by the virus and at least 32 military leaders now dead, the regime is weak and desperate and poised to do something dramatic.
From every angle you look at this, you have a catastrophe, a major catastrophe brewing in Iran. And until and unless the international community takes it upon itself to go and do something, I think the worst is yet to come. The ruthlessness and the brutality of this regime, which, as I said, is only interested in keeping itself in power instead of attending to the welfare and well-being of the people of Iran.
The White House continues to hold firm on the position that humanitarian aid is ready to be shipped to Iran, but Iran continues to refuse the offer. Chanel Rion, One American News, the White House.